Hi everyone. In this tutorial, we will be discussing the implementation in Python of the entire solution that we discussed in the previous video. So let's get started. So in this tutorial, I'll be walking you all across a notebook that contains the textual EDA that was discussed in the previous video. This notebook is divided in 7 steps as we can see over here. Initially, let's get started with importing the libraries and the dataset. So as you can see here that we have pandas, numpy imported, and we have a few libraries that are related to natural language processing and some other libraries that are related to plotting such as plotly. Once we have these libraries uploaded, next this is the dataset that we will be working with here. So now this data set is not exactly the same as the data set that I used for my freelance project, but this is very similar to that data set. As you can see here, we have mainly two columns of concern. One is case text, that is the text for the each of these testimonies, and the second one is case outcome, which tells us the what was the outcome of that particular case. So let's do some pre-processing before we can do our natural language processing on top of this data. So with respect to cleaning textual data, we'll do four things here. One is removal of punctuations, uh, making the case standard to lower, removal of stop words, and then removing the digits from these texts. I have done these four things in this chunk of code, as you can see here. And next, what we will do is we will add some additional features, which are your character length, the number of words, the polarity, and the subjectivity score. So the character length and the number of words you might be familiar with, but what is this polarity and subjectivity? So polarity and subjectivity, we are extracting this directly using the text blob library. And as you can see here, I have provided a explanation of what polarity and subjectivity is. So the polarity score of a sentence is a is a score between -1 to +1. If it is +1, that means that the statement is very positive. If it is -1, that means the statement is extremely negative. If it is 0, that means that's a neutral statement. And then we have another metric, that is subjectivity. So what is subjectivity score? It actually tells that whether that statement is driven by emotions or whether that statement is driven by facts. So if the subjectivity score is higher, which means that it's mostly driven by personal opinion and emotions. If its subjectivity score is lower, that means it's more driven by factual information, and this score lies between 0 to 1. Now that we have extracted these four features, let's get started with the plotting. Initially, I'll plot that across all my case outcomes, what is the number of cases, which you can see that I've plotted it in a donut chart over here. And 48.9% of my cases have a result as cited, which contributes to about 12.2 k cases. What we'll do next is we'll create a word cloud based on my case text, and I do that by using the word cloud library. And here, as you can see, that I have plotted the word cloud, and majorly in this word cloud, the big texts that you see, those texts are high occurring, and the small text that you see, those are like low occurring. Okay, so and as this whole textual analysis is related to legal texts, so that's why you might be noticing a lot of your legal terminologies here, such as commission, then we have practices, then we have person, statement, claim, common law, right? So going forward, I'll be telling you that. So here, what I've done is I've plotted the 20 most occurring words in all of the cases. I've done that by using this function, which is get top n words, and here I've got the common words. The first 20 common words, and if I change this number to 30, I'll get the for topmost 30 words. So I've created a data frame from those 20 words so that I can plot it. And here I've plotted it as a bar chart, as you can see here. The most occurring word is quote, that has occurred over 53k times. The 20th most occurring word is claim which has occurred over 15K times. And what I've done next is across my case outcomes, I have mentioned the average of polarity and the average of subjectivity. So I do that by simply taking a group by of case outcome and then getting the mean of polarity score. So this is what it looks like. And then this is the average of polarity score across case outcomes. Similarly, I have also the average of subjectivity scores across the case outcomes, as you can see over here. So what I'll find out next, that what is the number of words across the case outcomes. So this will help us to understand that the cases that are referred to, approved or related, what is the total length of the words in those testimonies. So this is the result for my what is the number of words across case outcome. So as we see here that for approved cases we have an average word length of 550 the words. So from here we can come to the business insight that if that the those testimonies that have a fairly longer length, then these testimonies are more likely to get approved. So this is sort of one business insight that we can provide to the legal firm, and this was actually one of the insights that I was able to come up with, which I submitted my actual client. And the final chart that I'll be creating is a parts of speech visualization, where I'll be showing that across my case outcomes and across my parts of speech, which are noun, preposition, adjective, like what do the number of what is the distribution of number of words. So, and here I haven't mentioned all the parts of speech. I have just mentioned few important ones, as you can see here. And this is initially I've got the what the verb count is, the interjection count is, and after that I have done some data manipulation to get it in this format, where across my case outcomes and across my the different parts of speech I'm able to get the number of words. After this I do some further data manipulation, and then I basically represent so that I can represent it in a line chart. So the final result of my parts of visualization, parts of speech chart is this visualization, where I have the on the y-axis I have the count of words, and on the x-axis I have the various parts of speech, and as a color I have represented the different case outcomes. So that was all for this video, everyone. Thank you for watching.